Hi folks, welcome to my channel. Today's topic is eternal presence reality. In this very moment, as you settle into this sacred space of listening, something profound is occurring that extends far beyond the simple act of receiving words. You're touching into what we might call eternal presence reality, the timeless dimension of existence that underlies all experience, yet remains mysteriously hidden in plain sight. Breathe with me now, and as you do, notice that the awareness observing your breath has no age, no history, no future. This presence that knows you are breathing is the same presence that has witnessed every breath you have ever taken. Yet it remains eternally fresh, eternally now, eternally here. Today, we embark on perhaps the most important exploration possible, the investigation into the nature of presence itself. Not presence as an abstract concept or philosophical idea, but presence as the living reality that you are, have always been, and can never cease to be. The illusion of linear time. Most of us live our lives trapped in what we might call the tyranny of linear time. We believe ourselves to be temporary beings born at a specific moment, aging with each passing day, destined to disappear at some future point called death. We experience ourselves as moving through time like passengers on a train, watching the landscape of experience pass by the windows of our consciousness. But what if this entire framework is fundamentally backwards? What if time does not continue, but rather emerges within you? What if past and future are not places you travel to, but mental constructions that arise in the eternal now of your awareness? Consider your experience right now. Where is the past? You can remember it, think about it, feel its apparent effects, but where is it actually? It exists only as present thoughts, present sensations, present emotions arising in this moment. Similarly, where is the future? It exists only as present anticipations, present plans, present worries occurring now. The only moment that has ever actually existed is this one. The only reality you have ever known is the reality of now. Yesterday's now, tomorrow's now. There is only one eternal now, appearing to itself as a sequence of moments we call time. The nature of presence, what exactly is this presence that we are pointing to? It's not a thing among other things, not an object you can grasp or a state you can achieve. Presence is the very space in which all objects appear, the awareness in which all states arise and dissolve. Right now, notice that you are present. This is not something you have to create or maintain. Presence is your most fundamental nature, more basic than thoughts, more essential than emotions, more intimate than sensations. You cannot step outside of presence because your presence itself temporarily appearing as a person having an experience. This presence is not personal. It does not belong to you and any more than space belongs to the objects that appear within it. The awareness reading these words is the same awareness that looks out through every pair of eyes that has ever existed. It is the one eternal witness appearing as the multitude of individual perspectives. When you were a child, there was a presence aware of being a child. Now that you are older, there is a presence of aware of your current age. If you live to be very old, there will be a presence aware of being elderly, but this presence itself never ages, never changes, never diminishes. It is the changes of changeless background against which all change occurs as of now. Beyond the mind's narratives, the mind, brilliant as it is, creates elaborate stories about who you are, where you have come from, and where you are going. It constructs an identity based on memories, relationships, achievements, failures, hopes, and fears. This psychological self becomes so convincing that we forget it's simply a collection of thoughts appearing in awareness. But the eternal presence that you truly are exists prior to all narratives, before all stories, beyond all identities. It is what remains when all thoughts subside, but what persists when all emotions pass, what continues when all experiences fade. This presence is your true face before you were born, your essential nature after the body dies. This does not negate the relative reality of your human experience. Your story as a person is beautiful, meaningful, and worthy of honor, but it's like a wave on the ocean. Real has a wave, yet never separate from the water itself. Your personal story is presence temporarily appearing as a character in the cosmic play of consciousness. When you recognize yourself as eternal presence rather than as a temporary person, your relationship to everything changes. Fear of death dissolves because you realize that what you truly are was never born and can never die. Anxiety about the future diminishes because you understand that your essential being exists outside of time. Depression about the past lifts because you see that your fundamental nature was never touched by any experience. The dimension of being. There are essentially two dimensions to existence, the dimension of becoming and the dimension of being. In the dimension of becoming, everything is constantly changing, moving, evolving, appearing, and disappearing. This is the realm of phenomena, the world of objects, experiences, and events unfolding in time and space. But underlying this constant flux is the dimension of pure being, unchanging, eternal present. This dimension does not evolve or develop because it's already perfect and complete. It does not need improvement because it lacks nothing. It does not seek fulfillment because it's fulfillment itself. Most spiritual seeking occurs in the dimension of becoming. We try to become more aware, more enlightened, more peaceful, more loving. We imagine that through practice, study, or experience, we can somehow improve our fundamental conditions. But enlightenment is not in the dimension of becoming, it is a recognition that you already exist in the dimension of eternal being. This recognition does not come about through time. You cannot gradually approach eternal presence because it's already here. You cannot work towards being what you are because you already are it. The recognition of your eternal nature happens outside of time in the timeless moment of simply being present to what is. Let us understand the heart of reality. At the very heart of reality lies not matter, not energy, not space or time, but pure consciousness, aware presence that knows itself to be. This is not consciousness of something, but consciousness itself, the primordial awareness that is the source and substance of all experience. Modern science is beginning to acknowledge what mystics have always known, that consciousness is not produced by the brain but is the fundamental fabric of reality itself. The brain is like a radio receiver tuning into eternal broadcast of consciousness that permeates everything. Let us understand that when you die, the radio breaks, but the signal continues. When you are born, a new receiver comes online, but the consciousness flowing through it is the same eternal presence that has always been. You are not a temporary emergence of consciousness from unconscious matter. Your eternal consciousness temporarily focused through the apparent limitation of individual perspective. This understanding revolutionizes how we think about life and death, identity and relationship, purpose and meaning. Death is revealed to be simply the end of a particular focal point of consciousness, like a whirlpool dissolving back into the river from which it arose. What you truly are continues because what you truly are never began. Let us contemplate the practice of pure presence. While eternal presence is your natural state, most of us have become so identified with the movement of thoughts and emotions that we overlook the stillness in which they appear. The practice of presence is not about creating something new, but about recognizing what has always been here. Right now, without changing anything, simply notice that you are aware. Don't think about awareness, just be aware of being aware. This is not a mental exercise, but a direct recognition of your most fundamental nature. In this recognition, thought may continue, emotion may arise, sensations may appear, but you know yourself as the unchanging awareness in which they all occur. The beauty of this recognition is that it's available in every moment, regardless of your circumstances, whether you are experiencing joy or sorrow, success or failure, health or illness. The eternal presence that you are remains unchanged. It's like the sun that continues to shine, whether the sky is clear or cloudy. The clouds don't affect the sun's essential luminosity. As this recognition deepens, you begin to live from presence rather than from the conditioned patterns of the mind. Your actions arise from the wisdom of the moment rather than from historical programming. Your responses emerge from love rather than from fear, from fullness rather than from lack, from understanding rather than from confusion. The paradox of personal growth. Here we encounter a beautiful paradox. On one hand, you are already perfect, complete, and complete as whole, has eternal presence. Nothing needs to be added, nothing needs to be changed, nothing needs to be achieved. On the other hand, this recognition can lead to profound transformation in how life is lived, how love is expressed, how service is offered. The resolution of this paradox lies in understanding in that growth and transformation occur not to presence itself, but in the apparent person through which presence is flowing. It's like water flowing through different shaped vessels. The water remains the same, but its expression takes different forms. From the perspective of eternal presence, there is no here to go and nothing to achieve. From the perspective of the individualized expression of presence, there is infinite potential for growth, creativity, and service. Both perspectives are true, and wisdom lies in holding them simultaneously. This understanding brings tremendous freedom to the path of development. You can engage wholeheartedly in learning, healing, and growing while knowing that your essential worth and completeness never depend on the outcomes. You can pursue goals and dreams while being fulfilled, regardless of whether you can achieve them. Living as eternal presence. What does it mean to live as eternal presence rather than as a temporary person seeking fulfillment? It means recognizing that fulfillment is your nature, not your destination. It means understanding that love is what you are, not something you need to find. It means knowing that peace is your ground of being, not a state you need to create. When you live from this recognition, and your interactions with others changes dramatically. You see beyond the surface personality to the eternal presence that looks out through their eyes. You respond to their essence rather than to their conditioning, their being rather than their behavior. This does not mean becoming passive or failing to set boundaries. It means acting from wisdom and love rather than from reactivity and fear. Your relationships with challenges and difficulties also transforms. Instead of seeing problems as obstacles to your happiness, you recognize them as invitations to discover the unshakable peace that remains present. Even in the midst of apparent turmoil, every difficulty becomes an opportunity to explore the depths of your own being. The most profound shift occurs in your relationship with time itself. Instead of constantly rushing towards some future moment of satisfaction, you begin to find completeness in each arising moment. Instead of analyzing the past or worrying about the future, you rest in the eternal now where all of life actually takes place. The collective awakening. Your recognition of eternal presence does not occur in isolation. It's part of a collective awakening happening throughout humanity. As more individuals recognize their true nature as consciousness itself, the morphic field of human awareness shifts towards greater wisdom, compassion, and unity. This is why your inner work matters, not just for your own well-being, but for the evolution of consciousness on earth. Every moment you choose presence over reactivity, love over fear, understanding over judgment, you contribute to the healing of the collective human psyche. We are living in unprecedented times, a period when the recognition of eternal presence is becoming available to ordinary people rather than remaining the exclusive domain of mystics and sages. The democratization of awakening is no accident. It's consciousness itself evolving towards greater self-awareness through the unique lens of human experience. Your participation in this collective awakening is not separate from your personal realization of eternal presence. They are two aspects of the same movement of consciousness recognizing itself. As you awaken to your true nature, you simultaneously contribute to the awakening of all beings. The timeless teaching throughout history in every culture and tradition, eternal and enlightened beings have pointed to the same fundamental truth that what we truly are is eternal, infinite, and present. The words and concepts may differ, but they all point to the recognition of our deepest nature as consciousness itself. This teaching is not information to be accumulated, but truth to be realized. It cannot be fully understood by the mind because it transcends the mind's capacity for conceptual knowing. It can only be recognized through direct experience, through the immediate knowing of what you are right now. The teaching is complete in every moment because every moment contains the totality of presence. You don't need to read more books, attend more workshops, or practice more techniques to access what you already are. Though these may be valuable in supporting the recognition, they cannot give you what you have never lost. The eternal presence that you are is the ultimate teacher, the final authority, the source of all wisdom and love. Learning to listen to this deeper knowing, to trust this inner guidance, to rest in this fundamental ground of being. This is the essence of all authentic spirituality. Let us introspect the invitation home as our exploration together draws together towards completion. I offer you this invitation not to become something new, but to recognize what has always been true, not to achieve some future state of enlightenment, but to acknowledge the enlightenment that is your very nature. This is an invitation home, not to a physical place, but to the eternal presence that is your true dwelling. Home is not somewhere you go, but something you are. It is not a destination you reach, but a recognition that dawns. You are already home, have always been home, and can never actually leave home. In every moment of confusion, remember you are eternal presence temporarily appearing to be confused. In every experience of pain, remember you are eternal presence temporarily experiencing pain. In every feeling of separation, remember your eternal presence appearing to feel separate. The presence itself is never confused, never in pain, never separate. This remembrance is available in every instant, accessible through the simple recognition of what is aware right now, not what awareness is thinking or feeling, but awareness itself, pure, present, eternal, and free. The eternal now. Time, as we commonly understand it, as this construct of thought, but now this eternal now is not a moment in time, but a timeless dimension in which all moments appear, past and future, or all modifications of the eternal now, like waves on the ocean of timeless presence. Living in the eternal now does not mean ignoring practical consideration or failing to plan for the future. It means recognizing that all planning, all actions, all experiences happens now. It means understanding that only moment you can ever actually live is this one. In the eternal now, you're always perfect, always complete, always whole. The person you were yesterday and the person you will be tomorrow are temporary appearances in the unchanging now of your being. Rest in this understanding, abide in this recognition, be what you have always been, eternal presence itself. The seamless reality. As these words began to fade into the silence from which they arose, notice that there has never been a gap between you and the eternal presence we have been exploring. There has never been a moment when you are not in this presence, never an experience that occur outside of it, never a time when you were separate from your own essential nature. The recognition of eternal presence reality is not an achievement but a homecoming, not an attainment but a remembering, not a becoming but a being. It is the most natural thing in the world because it is what you are. Carry this recognition gently into your daily life. Let it infuse your interactions, your challenges, your joys, and your sorrows. Remember that whatever appears in your experience, whether pleasant or unpleasant, familiar or strange, is arising within the eternal presence that you are and can never disturb your fundamental nature. You are the eternal now, appearing as the experience of being human. Your infinite presence focused through the lens of individual perspective. You are the unchanging awareness in which all of life's drama unfolds. Rest in this truth, abide in this understanding, be what you are, eternal presence reality itself. And in this recognition, all seeking comes to rest, all questions find their answer, and all paths lead home. Let us maintain a sense of depth in stillness, of generous pauses for contemplation and integration, build towards recognition rather than excitement, end in profound silence to allow the teaching to settle. The vocal cord of voice should convey both authority, authenticity, and also gentleness. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you in the next video.